Hey, at that point I lost it. I literally started shouting at him. I'm like, stop this car, I need to come out. He didn't stop. I held my phone, I held my bag, I opened the door, and I literally jumped out of the car. Hello beautiful people, my name is Cindy, and if this is your first time stopping by, please do join the family by subscribing. And if you're already subscribed, you are awesome. Okay, so in this video, as its title says, I'm going to be doing my very first story time. I posted a video. I'm going to have it linked in the description box, where I talked about 10 lessons or 10 things you should consider before going out on a first date. I brought those 10 things out from my worst date experience. So as I mentioned in that other video, if anybody was interested in hearing the story, so some people were interested, so I said, you know what, I'm about to spill the tea. My throat is messing up. Sorry if my voice is weird, but I don't know, so I need this tea. So anyways, without further ado, let's just get right into the video. Story. Once upon a time. Okay, story actually happened way back in uni when I was in my 4th year, I think. So that was the period where we had to pay our school fees, right? So I went to the bank with my friend, and then because everyone in the school was paying their fees at the same time in the designated bank that the school had chosen, the queue was long. Okay, so we all stood in the queue waiting for our turn to pay for our fees, and next thing I see this security guard signaling on me to come to a part of the bank. So I was like, I did not steal anybody's money. This money is my hard-earned father's money. So what are they talking about? So I just decided to go and hear what he had to say. So he calls me and he's like, one of the bank officers wants to talk to you. And I'm like, okay, no problem. Maybe he will help me and skip this whole queue thing. So I said, no problem, let me go and listen to what he has to say. So anyways, I go to listen to what this man has to say, and he's talking about what's he using? He likes me, he's this and that. I even asked for us to go out on a date that day. So I was like, okay, no problem. So he helped me to pay, and I'm like, fine, let me just go out on a date. I mean, he's a banker, responsible man. Also, I thought, oh my god, no one told me that I was chatting with dry lips. Oh my god. Anyways, so yeah, eventually he calls me in the evening because he works in a bank. I know bankers in Nigeria work really late, so they finish work by maybe 6 p.m. So he calls me around 6 p.m. for us to go out. I'm like, fine, no problem. So I wear this cute denim dress I can never forget. And then he comes to pick me. So first things, he came with his colleague, right? And he's like, okay, that he wants to drop his colleague somewhere. I'm like, fine, no problem. I was like, no problem. We already picked the location where we're going to eat. So he finishes dropping his colleague, and then we're literally driving down to the location. So if you know Unizik, you know where Thameside is. So we're driving from the school to Thameside. So when he got towards the entrance to Thameside, that was the turn that he was supposed to take, he drives past the turn, and I'm like, sir, what are you doing? What is going on? And he's like, okay, sorry, that he has to, there's a bag of money in his car that he got from the bank. I don't know why he had a bag of money, but anyways, there's a bag of money he got from the bank, so he wants to drop it at home and then freshen up, and then we'll go out. Mind you, this is already past 6. So I'm like, no problem. So we go to his apartment, he drops the money, he changes, and then we go back to, in fact, he even changed the restaurant. So we even go to the first restaurant that we're supposed to go to. So he now we now order fish. Now normally fish takes time, but when we got to the restaurant, let's say it was about like 9, right? So the fish starts taking, or maybe some minutes to 9. So the fish starts taking time. But I told him that the school gate closes by 10, so that I have to get back to my hostel before 10. At the time, the fish starts wasting time. So I'm like, can you go and check on it? Like, what's going on? So he goes to check, and they're like, oh, that he now came back to me and said, oh, that they gave the fish to someone else. This man was using scoop, so that I'll stay in his house. Can you imagine? So next thing, he's like, he now starts offering me a room in his house, that he has a room in his house, that I can stay in his house, that I should lock myself in the room, and nothing is going to happen. And I'm like, I know, but I have to still go back to where I'm going to, right? He's like, he tried to persuade me, tries to coerce me into coming to his house to sleep that day. And I'm like, it's not going to work, okay? So just come and carry me back to my house. After some time, he decides to come and take me. So this was like maybe say 20 minutes or maybe less than 20 minutes to the time when the gate would close by 10. So we start driving down to the school gate. So when we got to the school gate, it was, let me just say 10:01 thereabouts, maybe, or 10 on the dot, I can't remember. So they said it was 10 on the dot and they can't open the gate. That the only way they could open the gate is if I walk, and I couldn't walk from the school gate to my hostel because it was very far and it was late at night. So we pleaded for him to drop me, but they refused. So he came and said, you see what I said? Come and stay in my house. I said, sir, I'm not going to stay in your house. I would rather sleep on the road. I mean, I didn't say that, but in my head, I'm like, I'd rather sleep on the road than, because I didn't even like the date, so I don't understand. So he's like, oh, anyway, blah, 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 I should come and stay in his house. I'm like, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work, okay? So at that point, I already thought of my friend's place, because my friend stays outside the school campus. So you can have access to, those people that stay out of the campus, and you can go to their houses anytime. So I was like, okay, fine, come and drop me in my friend's house, please. So at that point, I think he got a bit disappointed, and he's like, okay, he agrees, right? He agrees, and he starts taking me to my friend's house. Midway, this guy literally says he doesn't want to take me again. And I'm like, I felt like he was threatening me, like, I'm not taking you. Do you get that kind of thing? So I cannot be like, okay, fine, let me go and stay in your house. I said, no problem, drop me here. I'll use my leg and go to where I'm going to. So, I think he understood that his threat wasn't working. So and I even came out of his car. So he now came, pleaded and told me, okay, I should get back in, that he's going to take me, blah, blah, blah. Stupid mistake, I got into that car again. See, you guys, the tea is real. The gist is really coming. Anyways, so I got into the car again. Stupid mistake, you guys. I got into the car and then we start going. We continue the journey. So at a point, like let me say 5 minutes to me getting to my friend's place, this guy literally does like a U-turn, like starts turning the car back around towards the way we were coming. So I'm like, what are you doing? Okay, mind you, a bit of a backstory. But as we were approaching my friend's house, his car started jerking a bit, but then it continued going and everything was fine. So he now starts doing a U-turn. So I'm like, sir, what are you doing? And this was around like past 10, obviously, maybe even almost 11, because by the time we were able to go back and all the drama and me coming out of the car, so it was almost like 11 p.m. So he starts turning the car around. I'm like, sir, where are you going to? And then he's like, that he has to go to the mechanic. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, she didn't want me. Like, you have to go to the mechanic by 11 p.m. You must think that I'm a fool.
You must think that I'm a fool.
You must think that I'm an idiot, So I'm like, okay, fine, you need to go to the mechanic, but that's fine. Please just drop me here. I'm already very close to where I'm going to. Then you can continue your journey to the mechanic. This man did not talk to me. At that point, he stopped talking to me. I said, okay, maybe he didn't hear me. Like, I have to like express myself in a higher tone. So I tapped this man. I said, sir, please drop me here. I don't want to go to the mechanic with you. I don't want to be a mechanic. I want to be a baller.
God, I beg. I don't want to be a mechanic. I want to be a baller.
Uncle did not stop him. He literally even sped up. I said, hey, it is indeed, you have entered one chance. One chance is, don't worry, I'll explain that in a very good day. You have entered one chance. So this man literally starts taking me to, carry me to where I don't know.
Help me. Is they carrying me to where I don't know?
Hey. At that point, I lost it. I literally started shouting at him. I'm like, stop this car, I need to come out. He didn't stop. I started banging on the dashboard. I started reaching towards him. I started reaching towards the key. I was just shouting like my person, stop this car. This man did not stop the car. I started opening the door. Like I just opened the door, banged it like 3 times. He did not stop the car. That's when I knew that what Wahala don't come. I held my phone, I held my bag, I opened the door, and I literally jumped out of that car. But what saved me was that, first of all, it wasn't a highway, it was like an inner road, so it was a narrow road, it wasn't like a busy road, first of all. And I felt like we were the only ones on that road because I didn't see any cars in front coming. And because I told you he sped up, but when I jumped out of the car, literally, was when he was approaching a speed bump. So he kind of slowed down. So that was what saved me. So that was how I was able to jump out, and I did not get any serious bruises. I only had like a bruise on my hip, and my hip started hurting because immediately I fell down. Immediately I came out of the car because the car was still in motion. I fell on my hip. I got some bruises there. My hip was hurting eventually, like the next day. So but funny enough, immediately I came out of the car and I fell down. I stood up in less than 1 second. Like, when you just fall down, and next 1 second you're up. But I saw someone, I think a man, there was someone standing at the back. So he saw me fall. So immediately I came out of the car. The man eventually now stopped the car. So the man stopped the car. So the other man that was standing on the other side of the road now runs towards me. And he's like, what happened? What did he do to you? I did not even listen to anybody. Like, I literally did not listen to anybody. I just started walking. Some boys just came out of nowhere. Like, literally came out of nowhere. Ran towards the car, surrounded his car. There was even a police car behind. So the police car even stopped. Boys just surrounded his car. And that place was very empty. I don't understand how there were so many people there by that time. I don't know where they all came out from. So some people ran towards me. Oh, what did you do to you? What did you do to you? I just started ranting. I was venting. I was like, I told him to stop the car. He did not stop. I wanted to come down. After that, I just continued working. I didn't even want to be in that scene anymore. So I keep going. I enter, and I found like a keke. I just finally went to my friend's house. And that was it. You know, this foolish, because my friends were not really pissed, and they took his number and they were like shouting, they were saying like, shouting at him. And this foolish man was saying, oh, that he wanted me to be safe, that's why he didn't stop. I'm like, are you crazy? You must be a crazy person, So that was how that date went. Like, it was literally my worst date experience, you guys. Oh my goodness. So that was why I was able to pick out some points to consider before going out. You can watch that video just so you can see the lessons that I learned from it, because people are crazy in this world. Like, we live in a world with crazy people, okay? So just make sure that you're safe. Make sure that whenever you're going out on a date, go out at a reasonable time, especially if it is a first date. That was my worst date experience. Always have backup. I really don't want this kind of thing to happen to anybody, because it was just, I keep wondering, like, what would have happened if I allowed this man to do what he really, really wanted to do, So please, you guys, just stay safe out there, have fun, and it's never your fault. So please, guys, go watch that other video. So I hope I've spilled enough tea for y'all today. It was just a very horrible experience. It was just horrible. It was really, really horrible. But anyways, I survived and I moved. Nothing can bring me down. Nobody can depress me in this life, okay? I still went out on other dates. If you like, be a mad person. People have madness is in different levels and degrees, so don't allow anybody to mess you up, okay? So my beautiful girls, my beautiful boys, let's just stay safe out there and keep doing our best. Okay guys, so we've come to the end of this story time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll definitely see you in my next video.